Plataforma de información musical y radio online. Rutas Alternas. Escucha.
Dentro de las actividades de la British Music Embassy en Austin, en el marco de South by Southwest 2021, tuvimos la oportunidad de disfrutar de la música de Penelope Isles, a quienes hemos seguido desde hace ya algún tiempo. Hemos disfrutado su disco debut y pues hoy tenemos el gusto de conversar en esta videoconferencia con Lily y con Jack Wolter. Lily y Jack, hola, ¿cómo están?
Hola.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Hello. Good, thanks.
It's great to have you here. And it was great to watch your showcase in South by Southwest. How do you feel to play in this very important festival?
Oh, well, it was an honor, really. I mean, we were lucky to go to Austin a couple of years ago. So we were disappointed not to be there eating loads of nice street food and dancing around.
I know.
It was amazing. No, I felt it was a really special. It was a great. The online presence felt really real for South by. So yeah, it kind of felt like we were a part of something. Yeah, it was amazing.
Of course, there's nothing like live music to watch a gig and to feel the vibe of the band, but it's also important that the festival could make it online because we have the opportunity to watch a lot of bands from all over the world just one click away. I know maybe it's been weird for you when you record the show that be in front only of technicians and cameramen. And now people from all over the world watch your showcase. It's amazing, right?
Yeah, it's kind of, well, yeah, it seems, it seems so futuristic, but it's kind of the norm now, isn't it? It seems so normal now after a year of COVID. But yeah, it's how special, really.
Yes. And before the pandemic, you play a lot in so many places, so many festivals. How was that experience with your first album and your world tour?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely we love playing live. Like that's our favorite part about it all, I think. And we were really lucky to go to a lot of places we've never been to before. We got to go to Iceland and America. Like that's always been our dream, and we got to go there a few times. But I think we played the same song so many times that we're just really excited to go back and do it all again with a new record, I think.
Yeah, we didn't really have time to kind of we were touring so much that we didn't have much time to learn new stuff. Like as a band, we kind of had this one set of songs. But yeah, traveling around playing those songs was amazing.
And it felt really good by the end, not having to think so much about anything because you know the set so well and you know the song so well that not that it's a breeze, but it even when it came to packing up the van or knowing what to pack in your suitcase or playing the set and stuff, it all was really organized and stuff. So I'm excited to get back to that feeling again.
Yes. And for your showcase in South by Southwest, how do you decide what songs to play? Because unfortunately, there was a very short time to play, only a few songs. How do you choose it?
Well, we wanted something, if we're going to be honest, we haven't been playing that much as a band over COVID because we were recording our new album. So we wanted songs that felt quite familiar. But we played a song called Narbonne, which we wrote a new ending, especially for the South by set. So yeah, we wanted to go with like a familiar sound, a familiar songs, but we changed it up a little bit just in case anyone thought we were just doing the same old stuff.
Yeah, we didn't want to risk it and play 3 new songs, and because we haven't had a chance to gig those songs in a live setting yet. That you never know, these things might not work a certain way live. It takes, for us especially as a band, it takes quite a while to gig those new songs until we get them to a place that we're really happy with. So we wanted to sort of stick with what we know, what we do best.
We changed it up a little bit.
But we changed it up a bit. so it wasn't stale.
Yes. How different is the process to create these new songs and your next album in front of your last record, your debut album? Beside the pandemic and the obvious things, what do you want to tell in these new songs? What your expectations about this new album?
Well, I think the songwriting process was very similar to the first one, the first album. Lily and I both, we write separately, and then so whoever sings the song usually has written the song, and then but yeah, it was different in the way that we recorded this album because we hadn't really fleshed out or played any of the songs as a band. So we went into the studio, we rented like a little cottage in Cornwall in the UK. It's on the southwest of England. Just as lockdown became a thing, we just rented this cottage, and yeah, we kind of lost ourselves a little bit in isolation. I think we probably would have been isolated anyway if COVID wasn't a thing. Mm-hmm. And we kind of just worked out how to make these songs. Like yeah, we went a bit crazy, but it was fun.
And this album, which is different to the first record, we had our new band member Henry, who was a really big part of it. So yeah, we were really lucky to have him help us make it.
Yeah, new band member was a massive difference from the first one.
And how do you handle the music dialogue with your bandmates? Because when you play when you make a record, you need to have this dialogue, need to find what's best for each song, and it's a tricky process sometimes. How do you handle that?
I think that's something that we really struggle with, like, if we're going to be honest, with this album. Something that we probably didn't think much about beforehand. So when we went in to just, expect these songs to be delivered and created, and they weren't so much. So we had to think about that during the process a lot, and it meant taking time away from the songs. And we worked with a couple of different musicians on this album, like especially in the percussion, in the drumming area, which was great. We're really happy with the result, and we've learned a lot from it.
But I think we thought it might have been a little bit easier than how it actually went. And I think going forward, maybe into future records, I think we would probably go about it a different way. And you can't just expect people to sort of read your mind.
Yes. I know. It's a little hard because in the history of music, the second album of a band, it's a little complicated because like many people say, you have a lifetime to make your debut album, but only a few years, maybe months, to make your second record. And it gets a little harder because you have more expectations, you have more a big fan base. I don't know, there's a lot of things that maybe can misguide you from the objective of making an album.
Yeah, it's true. I think we everything you said is so true, but I guess we're lucky that we have such a great label in Bella Union that there was, they gave us as much time as we. I mean, it's not as if we took 10 years to make it, but we, there was no like money and pressures. There was no like people kind of hammering at us saying you need to deliver this. We had our time to,
and I think space. because of COVID as well, like it definitely knocked off time pressure for us and a lot of other people. In hindsight, it's actually quite a good time to make a second record because we had like a year to sort of work on this record as opposed to maybe 6 months before we got to go on tour again.
Now that you're talking about your label, how's your relation with Bella Union? Because it's a very important label. It has a lot of great bands in our rosters. How's your relation with them?
Yeah, we just absolutely love Bella. Like we're we've got a great relationship with Simon and Abby, and they're like family to us, and we live in the same town, so we're fortunate enough to spend a lot of time with them, which only makes our sort of professional relationship stronger, I think. And yeah, I couldn't talk about them highly enough. I don't think either of us could really. They do a lot for us and we love them. Yeah.
It's very important for an independent musician to have access to these independent labels that maybe don't have the budget of a major label, but there are a lot of creative opportunities, and you can have a good relation with them and increase your work together.
Yeah, I agree.
What was the question?
No, because some people think that it's if the music is not on a major label, it's not that important or can do some things, but it's untrue, right? You can work it out with an independent label, independent venues, independent media.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think as well, before we were lucky enough to get signed, we were really we were very hands-on, so we came from a DIY background, making things happen for ourselves, not waiting for someone to come and offer us a check. And we were just, we would get in the van and go on tour, and we would book our own tours, and we still to a big extent do a lot of that,
thanks to the fact that, like what you were saying, thanks to the fact that, it's just, they are a smaller label, and
if we can keep it within our team, we will. The
conversation can always be had, I think. Like we're talking to the label at the moment about potential ideas and projects revolving around putting our next album out, and yeah, it's kind of an open book, which is really exciting. There's no have tos, or it's great to have the conversation and decide. Yeah, I think having a smaller, well, they're not a small label, but not a major, like you said, it definitely helps. Yeah.
Lily, Jack, what can you tell us about your the impact of your environment, your community, your city to your music? Because Brighton, it's a not only a beautiful city, but has a very good music scene, a lot of great artists, bands, venues. It's important for you, your environment, your community?
It's hard to even like think about that at the moment, because because of the times and there's been so little happening, it's like hard to even imagine Brighton being that kind of place. Sort of thing. But then, obviously it's amazing for like Great Escape is just like the funnest thing ever. And, you can walk into a laundry place to get your washing done, and there will be a punk band on, or a bookshop, and there'll be like a string quartet playing and stuff like that. It's great for things like that. Brighton is really special, but yeah, it's just funny, like even thinking about Brighton being like that at the moment, because like everywhere else, it feels like a bit of a ghost town that we're just sort of waiting to get back.
Yeah, we've only just actually we went to stay with our parents for a couple of months when it was lockdown, or whilst it's lockdown. So we've actually only just got back to Brighton for a couple of weeks ago, and yeah, it is funny just because Brighton is such a social city. The great thing about Brighton, obviously it's by the sea, and but it really is all about the social life, I think. So not having that at the moment, like so many other cities in the world, it kind of feels like it's almost lost its identity a little bit.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I mean, everyone's trying. You've got like venues that are doing like Instagram takeovers and stuff like that to try, just little people are just hanging on for dear life just to try and get through all this. But yeah.
So guys, when will Penelope Isles come to Mexico to play live?
Please, ASAP. We want to come so badly. I want some tacos.
Hopefully, like this. Hopefully, I mean, whenever we're allowed to. Yeah, as soon as possible.
I think it's
possible.
I think it's important that there's a few festivals in the UK that are happening in the fall, and maybe in early 2022 we can have festivals here in Mexico.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure that you have to come to play here.
Well, we'll be there, man.
Are you inviting us?
Yes, of course.
Can we come and
Please.
stay at your house?
Of course. Mi casa es su casa.
No.
I've got a Mexican blanket right here.
Oh, cool.
I'll bring it with me so I can
Please.
stay on your sofa.
Of course, please. You are very welcome here, and it's important this exchange of music culture between Mexico and the UK. There's so many bands that from the UK that have come to play to Mexico. Not as much as Mexican bands play in the UK, but it's important. It's important to have this bridge between our music scenes.
Totally, man. Yeah, I think building those relationships is really important, and any opportunity to do that should be encouraged massively. Yeah. Yeah, we want to make some Mexican friends, don't we?
We do. Come say hi to us. We're friendly.
Of course. Do you have a date to the release of your next album? What's the plan for 2021?
Well, I'm not sure if it's officially been announced yet, but so I know that
There's no set date, but it will be this year.
yeah,
This year.
yeah, hopefully like kind of fall time we're thinking,
Okay.
which is great. Like there was talks. I know a lot of bands have kind of delayed their release and like shelved it almost, but yeah, we're excited to release it even if we can't tour it as much as we would like to, but yeah, we're excited just to share some music, so yeah, hopefully the end of the year.
I've been very pleased to listen to your music. I will be aware about your next single, your next album. I read who is your producer, and it blows my mind. We can talk about it, but I know that there's only good things for you ahead.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. That's very sweet.
Yeah, we're really excited about everything, so hopefully we can come out and share it with everyone as soon as possible.
Please.
That would be a great time, won't it? If we actually do get to come to Mexico someday, and then we meet up, us three and the band, and we have a nice cold beer and a taco together.
Wow.
We think, remember that Zoom call in lockdown?
Yeah.
Here
Please
we are.
write in your bucket list because it's gonna happen.
Yeah. It is so in our bucket list. So yeah. Thanks.
Cool. So looking forward to listen your new music, to have you here in Mexico. Congratulations for your showcase in South by Southwest. And it's been a pleasure to have this conversation with you.
And
Yeah.
you, man.
Yeah, and you're very sweet.
Thank you.
Lily, Jack, thank you so much for this chat with Rutas Alternas.
Oh, nice to meet you, man.
Bye.
Plataforma de información musical y radio online. Rutas Alternas. Escucha.